Hello and welcome to the Evolve Pipedrive podcast, where we talk all things Pipedrive, sales, apps, and the Pipedrive marketplace. My name is Bruce Bignell, Sales Director here at Evolve, and today we're going to be talking with Enryck from Aircall. Aircall are on the Pipedrive marketplace, and they are a cloud phone service for the modern business. So, Enryck, we've invited you here because Aircall integrates brilliantly with Pipedrive. Can you introduce Aircall to people that might not know what Aircall does, just as like a top level? What does Aircall do?
So Aircall is a phone-based solution. To make it very quickly and simple for people, everyone has a desk phone or had a desk phone, and rather than have that, you can literally have a phone on your laptop on your smartphone, something that everyone has right now. And within that, you have an app, and rather than use your personal number, you can have a set number defined by Aircall, either a mobile, a normal one, or if you are, for instance, for me, as people might hear it, I'm French, so within my Aircall app, I have like a UK mobile, a UK desk phone, and I have also a French desk phone. And I'm based in London, but if someone ring my French desk phone, they will still hear me. So that's what we offer in a nutshell. And it's just like the funny app. And the thing I always said is like, well, if the pandemic, when the pandemic hit, I've seen lots of my colleagues just take the PBX and put them in their backpack, and I was like, "What you doing?" And then you're just like, "Yeah, no, that's not something possible." And that's why I was like, "We should have a solution such as Aircall."
Yeah, that's a really nice image of back in the day. So you had to have your hardline phone, just
Yeah,
taking it with you. No more.
no.
So that leads me to what. I mean, obviously, that as a business Aircall, what do your customers look like? Are they big? Are they small? Like, what type of businesses are you servicing?
So in terms of the business, what we really do in Aircall is enable a sales and support team within all of their interaction, and people also that wanted to know more about Aircall. We have done a little demonstration with yourself, Bruce, a bit earlier, just to show what is the connection between Aircall and Pipedrive. We have very similar use case with Pipedrive. So we are on the SMB market. What we do is making sure that we have a strong presence there, and that we help their sales and support team to have better interaction with their customer, with their prospect, with their client, by having really quickly caller insight whenever they are making a call, and to avoid repetitive tasks by like taking notes or creating follow-up question. Everything can be done automatically to empower them to have like better data and be more efficient. So yes, we are phone class based, but for me, we are more of a productivity tool, because at the end is how can we make sure that you save time, and that every call that you do matter, and that you have all of the relevant information, not just for you, but also to share with everyone else in the business.
Okay, so what if you had to define what's the business problem that Aircall's solving? What is it that you guys are?
Well, the first business problem is like more and more people are remote working. I don't think you go to Starbucks with a PBX, are you? So no, the first business problem really that we are solving and being quite clear is like lots of people when they reach out to us, it's because what we realize is they are taking lots of call, they are spending lots of time, either they don't have a clear integration, or they are taking notes all over the place over and over again. And what makes this is basically people are becoming less efficient. I will say like the main difference that we bring is like to empower good communication within the discussion. So being sure that like whenever someone is calling you, or when you are calling someone, you have all of the relevant information to bring empathy in the discussion, making sure that they are happy at the end of the call. What I would say, it's like also, I will give a clear example. I will give something very simple. When I reach out to people, most of the time, I can discuss with them, or if I reach out to, let's say, about something online, I can judge their client services very, very quickly. The
Yeah,
reason why is like, first of all, I have a bit of an accent. So sometimes people are like, what's your name, etc. And when they're like, okay, can you spell your name? And I'm like, okay, Enryck, Enryck. It happened so much that after that, I had to learn the NATO alphabet. So to say Echo, November, Romeo, Yankee, Charlie, Kilo.
Yeah.
And then after that, they're like, okay, cool. And okay, now we have your details. And on the opposite hand, when I called a company or someone and they're like, hi, Enric, what can I do for you? Straight away, the discussion is totally different.
The
So
level of
straight away,
service, right?
the level of service
It's
is, yeah,
yeah.
it's totally jumping. And so it creates on my side less frustration, and I feel it's more natural and personal discussion. And so straight away, I will say it's like, I want to work with them, and that's what we are offering. We want to make sure that it's the best way to make sure you keep your customer, that you are more efficient, that they are more happy with you. And compared to other things, is also like we saw the integration with Pipedrive. We have also integration with a lot of other tools, and make sure that like whatever the integration, they get the best out of it. And what we are trying to create is really a voice ecosystem where whatever the business tool that you are using, I was reading that earlier on LinkedIn. Nowadays, a salesperson, for instance, or someone in customer success, they have 6 to 8 apps to be efficient. And I'm like, imagine I'm taking a call and I need to take 6 times the same information across each platform. That's such a waste of time. So that's why we are trying to connect to all of that and make people be more mindful and be more effective.
That's an interesting concept, right? That kind of the ecosystem. Would you say that that's a differentiator, like Aircall, of what you're looking to do there?
Yeah, that's really the main differentiator. We are trying to create a, vo- a voice ecosystem. So wherever someone is using their voice to make business, they can have the related app supporting. I will give the example we are talking a bit earlier. It's like, yeah, you have Pipedrive, but let's say you want more capabilities, you can use Plecto. Let's say someone has more inbound, so they will use companies such as Intercom and others to have the information. So we'll be able to connect these 4 apps all together and make sure that all of the data and all of the call that you are making are being well recorded. And then you can connect that, I would say, with sales enablement tool. You have Gond, you have Refract to gather this recording, do the transcript, do the analysis, and allow then manager to understand what is working, what is not working. You can also on the call straight away coach them, whisper to their ear. So when I started, I was in the room like what I have, and I had my sales manager just there. You have 50 calls. At the end, you speak with 5 people, so you are wasting an hour time of the manager rather than there. It can be like, okay, every time you are on one of these 5 calls, I will say do it straight away. And we used to do it loud, and we all went there where you are loud. Okay, what is he saying? What is next? And then he was whispering in your ear. So rather than doing that, you can just do it straight away with the app of on Aircall and just listen and say, okay, guys, here, this is what you should say next, without having the manager whispering just here and feeling his presence. You can just do it in the call, and the customer will never know.
Yeah, it's welcome to the 21st century, right? I can remember those early sales calls with your manager sitting in front of you, like, no. Yeah, so it's yeah, that's super cool. I mean, just looking at Aircall from what I've seen online and from talking with you guys, there's a lot of growth. Like,
Yeah.
so what markets do you cover? What's going on actually on Aircall
So
on
on
Aircall?
the market that we cover, and that's also like when you asked me a bit earlier, what was the kind of what is our target audience? When we empower SMB, and we have a strong presence in Western Europe. Well, even if we are technically, people are saying we are a US company. No, we are a French born company. We have strong presence in Latin America, ANZ, United States. And lately we have decided to come to the most competitive of all, I'm speaking about the UKI, obviously. So we are decided to come here. The main thing is like when you ask me what market we are covering. So the example I just gave is where we have offices, but the market that we are covering 100 countries, and in these 100 countries, we can being able to port the existing number in most of them, and we have direct coverage there. So, and then also one of the things that make a bit of a difference is at least 75% of them, we offer toll-free number. So whenever someone is calling you in inbound, their client are not paying a fee for the per minute was waiting when it's free for their client to call, and so there is no cost for inbound calls. And we offer also mobile number in 20 of them with SMS capabilities in 10 of them. So if you ask me what is the growth, is like, well, we have 100 countries. Ideally, we want to be able to also offer these other capabilities such as mobile and SMS to them, but it's one step at a time. And right now it's more, okay, what can we do in offering more capabilities? And also in the integration piece, we have already 100 of them, but we want to go 1,000 if possible. So that's where we are going to go.
And so, just on that point, just to push that, keep that ball rolling. What does that roadmap look like, right? So, is that growth with people joining the company? Is that like team expansions? Is that feature growth? What does that roadmap look like?
Well, honestly, we just said that. Do you want me to create evolve Aircall roadmap just dedicated to that? Just to be honest, there is
Let's
so
do it.
many to do. Now, honestly, in the upcoming next few weeks, and that's why I highlighted in the demonstration, we have a new UI, the one you just show. So it's our new dashboard. It's really intuitive. We are ramping up on the app. Also, we have lots of feedback internally and externally about the beta testing and pushing it. So that's the first thing, is like creating a even better UI for people using the Aircall dashboard. The second thing is what I was showing is on the analytics. So we had Analytic Plus and monitoring. So we already have basic analytics, but Analytic Plus and monitoring is really where we are focusing right now. So we are going to give and empower our clients and prospect to have way more KPI, define it way more better. So making sure that they have all of the various information and on the more granular detail as possible, because right now data is a bit what everyone is looking for. Then in terms of like more specific feature, there is AI and semantics. We are trying to come as close as possible on sentiment analysis to be able for people when they're on the call to understand, okay, where is the call going, if there is any specific script that can be triggered, etc. And that's also helping a manager to quickly see if there is similarities on specific call, how many times people mention pricing, how many time when they did pricing, what is the objection that they had. So being able, like through the recording and the integration that we have, to streamline that and help them have all of the key information very quickly. And as we said earlier, yeah, the integration, being sure that we are present on all of new marketplace, delivering new integration to go to new market, and the current integration that we have, keep empowering them, keep enhancing them to deliver way more for each one of the environment where people are, such as Pipedrive, being sure that the integration is keep going up and building up. And last but not least, it's if our sweet spot is SMB, but we didn't come to the UK just for the SMB. We also know that like it's a huge market. There is a lot of things to do. So then maybe in the next few years go in a bigger organization and enterprise, a bit like what Pipedrive is doing. They are a sweet spot in SMB, but the more feature they are adding, the more you understand that they are going to medium and maybe a day large. So we are seeing the similar growth.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, I think that those synergies there are pretty clear. There was something you mentioned there about the um, with the reports
Yeah.
and it's kind of the insights that you're getting from the Aircall dashboard. But that's in Aircall, right? That's your UI, but it does integrate with Pipedrive, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what really works well when if you're using these two systems together? What really works well?
So what works really well between both of the system is the
And the systems we're
integrate.
talking about here is Aircall and Pipedrive, right?
Yes, yeah. So to integrate, we can integrate seamlessly in a couple of clicks, as we did in like 4 click within your Pipedrive environment. You can do it. You can also, if you are on the Aircall marketplace and you have a Pipedrive account, connect in the same similar way. So it's the way you can easily connect either of Aircall dashboard or straight within Pipedrive from both of the tool that make the first. And then if I go more in depth about the integration, we have, as we were saying, we have a similar segment on the market. Pipedrive is the most used CRM, especially in SMB nowadays. One of the most, if not the best for SMB when they are starting on CRM before sometimes scaling up or not, especially that now Pipedrive is releasing new feature on a quite impressive pace. So it was obvious for us to create an integration because there is the demand from our clients, but there is the same traction and the same value, which was really important for us that when we choose a partner, we choose a right partner. So when we say that we have the same focus, we are focusing on STB that are growing, for instance, in the UK in the last few years. And I think you are really well known to know that, Bruce. There is more and more SME asking to work with Pipedrive. There is more and more people using Pipedrive. So there is a so we have been working with them, and to give a bit more context, 2 years ago we had a couple of our executive team being on a similar panel to speak about the integration, to speak about on talk or events, being together and working together. So for us, Pipedrive is a natural fit, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it's that they certainly do work well together. Well, thank you for that. It's always interesting to hear from your point of view, because we talk to a lot of apps, right, and a lot of different companies, and that are on the Pipedrive marketplace. But you mentioned there a couple of times that Aircall have just come to the UK. So what's your story here? Because you're quite new to the company as well, right? So
Yes.
are you part of this growth? Like, what's happened there?
So yeah, I'm part of the growth. I've been joining nearly 2 months now.
Nice.
So as you can hear, I'm French. I have a bit of a French accent, and people are always surprised when I'm like, "Yeah, it has been 5 years I lived there." They're like, "Okay," but before that, I'm always quite often in France. So I'm at least 1 week in France every month. So I'm ensuring that my accent can't fade. So I'm keeping it quite good. And basically a bit of around myself. I grew up in a French island that everyone might know for Death in Paradise. I think it's a famous TV show or series here. I still don't understand. But then I moved to Paris and I study in Dijon. And after my master's degree, I decided to come to London because I traveled there a couple of times prior to that. So once I joined the UK, I've done a couple of different jobs. I've done the opposite of what most people do. So I was a account executive, and then I decided to go through lead qualification, SDR, BDR. Then I become a team lead, and in my last company, they offered me the position of team lead, and I was like, I kind of like partnership. So then Aircall was one of some of the tool I used to use prior to that, and I was like, okay, let me see what they did. And the funny thing is, my previous company was also a French company that wanted to grow in the UK, and I was like, I know this story, so let me go help them, and that's why I joined.
Yeah, no, I love it, and I think you had experience with pipe drivers, right?
Yeah.
In one of those previous companies. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I used to be a Pipedrive super user, so I used to spend a day in and day out within Pipedrive. What can I say? I've been using lots of CRM, not just Pipedrive. So I've used HubSpot. I've trained people on Dynamics. I use Salesforce, Sales Cloud. I use HSV. So the first time I heard of Pipedrive, it was like 4 years ago. So it was kind of new on the market. I was like, okay, what is that? So it was quite a bit of a discovery. It was happy one. So it was the main thing is uh, like any CRM, I would say the main thing in Pipedrive especially is like making sure that the data are quite accurate, and it's really quite a native application. So after less than few days, you can already understand, okay, how can I structure my work? What should I do, etc. So make sure that like when you are on Pipedrive, your person page or the person that you are reaching out to, make sure that you have all of your call recording real set and always have a follow task, because that's the way when you open Pipedrive on a morning basis, you will see, okay, what do I need to do today? You know straight away what you have to do, what are the tasks that you are needing, and you can also define what is the most important one. Is it a call? Is it an email? To have a meeting, etc. So
Yeah.
really, you at the end you just live within Pipedrive. And let's be honest, when I remember Pipedrive when I started and what Pipedrive is right now, I have to say it's really impressive of the evolution. Uh, Few years ago it was just forcing, it was still lead person and activities, so you did not have like workflow automation. If you were opening the workflow piece were not there, so you didn't have the integration. Even the UR that has changed for me.
Yeah.
It's like before when you are in
It used to be
activity,
it used to be on the top,
it was
right?
on the top, and then
Yeah.
it was going like that. And then when you are, I would take a simple example, but when you are in activities, you needed every time to right click to open the activities. Otherwise, if you are clicking, it was refreshing, and then you need to say, okay, I put my activities, come back to look at it. And now you can just do that straight away within the platform. So the platform, just this little tool is like life saving, and it's also on the platform on the performance level. The performance, the platform is way more powerful. The support team is really reactive, and they will come back and handle anything that they want to do. And what you were saying earlier on the reporting side, it's it's way better and becoming better and better. You can get a great focus. You can create your own dashboard. You can create quick goal either for yourself or for your team. And what I've seen and what we were seeing when we were speaking about the Aircall traction and the Pipedrive traction is like Pipedrive is really gearing up to mid-market right now, developing more native integration with the lack of Slack, Microsoft Teams, the workflow capabilities. So they're really going through that. So I think the next step that what we might see is them creating native integration with the like of, they already do it with HubSpot, Salesforce, with other CRM to get the data, but then they will go towards more LinkedIn and Marketo to enrich the data straight away. And but obviously you can already do it with the like of Zapier or Trade.io. So it depends a bit of like the integration piece where Evolve can help, obviously, for the various client. And the one I was quite impressed is like they are releasing an integration with Facebook Messenger, and I was like, what will be that? What
Yeah.
will be that? So what will happen? So I'm looking forward to see that, because there is a lots of business and SME business using Facebook Messenger on a daily basis. So it's a kind of untapped or closed market. So it would be interesting to see. And I don't know if we still name it Facebook, because I think by tonight it might change name.
Right,
So
James. Yeah.
yeah.
I think they'll. Well, I think as we're recording this, Donald Trump's just announced. I think it's Truth Social and Facebook are changing their name. So it's the whole world is
The world is
changing.
changing.
Um, but yeah, no, I appreciate that. Is there anything else you want to cover that you felt you haven't asked you about about Aircall or about the integration?
So no, the thing is, yeah, you already asked about the integration. If what I will say, it's just mention a bit more in depth. Obviously, people listening to that, if you want to check out the demonstration, it's way better than just what we explained on the call. But in a nutshell, is really the integration what works well with it between Pipedrive and Aircall is the call capabilities, the fact that, and they will show it if they look at the demonstration, in a matter of seconds, all of the call is logged automatically, both for inbound and outbound call within the app and within Pipedrive very quickly. So you can look at the call, the notes, you can trigger a workflow to create follow-up tasks. You can have your deal updated and everything appearing on the contact record. And it's also on the integration. Yes, you are using a Pipedrive, but if you are also using Slack, Plecto, Sakari, Intercom, or any other capabilities that can empower your discussion, feel free to look at us. There is a high chance that it's on our marketplace. And if I have other thing that I can say, it's also like if you want really to get to know more about the Pipedrive and Aircall integration, feel free to reach out to Evolve with Bruce and Aaron. Or if you are in London, you can always come to meet us at Aircall. Just feel free to connect with me or LinkedIn or with our team. They are quite active. So, and we'll be happy to have a coffee, drinks, or just chat just to get to know you.
Yeah, brilliant. So, I'll be sure to capture that
Yeah.
those details. I'll put it in the show notes. Yeah, we'll have a link to a trial in the show notes here to trial Aircall and even get your own personalized demo there. Well, brilliant. Well, that's it for this week. Hopefully, you enjoyed meeting the Enryck over at Aircall. And if you do want to get your own personal demo, or just connect with. I don't know if he was inviting people to go for drinks there, Enryck.
Uh, I don't know how large is the budget. If
Yeah.
they're inviting me as well, my birthday was yesterday, guys. So feel free to come back. Feel free. Yeah, they can come. We are more than happy to join them. We
Perfect.
are going to have a couple of events fairly soon in the UK. So if you are not seeing us when you are in London, maybe we can see you somewhere else.
Wonderful. Well, that's it. Well, thank you for listening to the Evolve Pipedrive podcast, where we talk all things Pipedrive, sales, apps, and the Pipedrive marketplace. Please do consider liking and sharing this, and even sharing it with a friend that you think might find this useful. Brilliant. Thank you, Enryck.
Thank you. Thank you, Bruce.
Cheers. Bye now.